Hi everybody, this is Brian Koo with another ROK video, bringing you an up-to-the-minute Day 1 report on this very big King of All Britain war taking place here in Rise of Kingdoms. This is shaping up to be one of the biggest wars of the first quarter of 2025. It features on one side kingdoms like 1079 and 2906 facing off against 3308, 2217, and 2638. There are trillions of kill points on both sides of this war, and it is slated to be a very fair fight, and it is played out that way on day one. The fighting is extremely intense in both of these zones, and here on the front lines of the 1079 versus 3308 war, things have been back and forth all day long. 3308 and their allies did secure the center holy site when the zone opened, and they do have forts all around that holy site. Currently, some of those forts are burning, and in the flag versus flag battles that are taking place, it has been back and forth. Both teams have burned each other's flags, and they have destroyed each other's flags. In fact, the action is so intense in this zone that the overall kill points are a mere 2 to 3% lower than the other Zone 5 fight where the two bigger camps are taking place. And so in this zone, the kingdoms are punching above their weight, not only in terms of how intense the fighting is, but also how close this zone appears to be. At various times in the fighting, I felt like both sides were going to win the zone. 3308 is a very, very strong open field kingdom. They have a lot of very powerful whales. In fact, the top 5 of the Autarch standings are majority dominated by 3308 players. At other times, though, 1079 had very crisp execution, where when given a 10 to 15 minute window of open field control, 1079 was able to get some very quality burns, and in some cases, destroy flags that were under construction. In one very key moment, 3308 was building a very dangerous flag. It was almost up, but a garrison mishap put a Nevsky as the primary captain, and 1079 swarmed it down just before it finished being built. As we watch now, 1079 has pushed back the 3308 field and crisply launched a rally on this Eleanor Hera garrison. The swarmers on this rally are going to be quickly dispatched with, and from there, this Ashurbanipal Henry rally will have a clean look at a potential burn. This is shaping up to be a very, very good war. And it is too early in the war to make any real judgments, but it is safe to say that the underdog 1079-2906 side, who did pick the allies, they have had a very good first day. 1079 side has competed very well against 3308, and they are getting more help from their allies, particularly 1696, than 3308 is getting from theirs. In fact, both of 3308's allies are currently landlocked from even connecting to enemy territory, and one of the two main kingdoms was kicked out of the coalition mere hours ago. This kingdom reportedly deleted the wrong fort earlier in the day, so that removal from the main coalition was not without cause. But it is nonetheless significant to mention as this war goes on. It is often the case in these types of wars that the frontline fighters see only one part of the war. And while the back and forth fireworks seem like the most important thing to them, it is often what you don't see that decides the war. It is the kingdoms that are underperforming, or the victories happening in another zone that will often decide a war. And while the 3308-1079 fight is still very, very close, and it remains to be seen who will win, whether the crisp execution of 1079 will rule the day, or whether the open field strength, bottomless resources, and potentially bottomless speed-ups of 3308 will ultimately wear down their opponents. Another factor, of course, are the allies. And while 1079 was burning 3308 on the right, their allies, 1696, were burning a flag on the left. And this was just one of the two zones where the action was incredibly intense on day one. In this other zone, 2906 is battling against the biggest camp in this KvK, 2638 and 2217. And thus far, 2906 side has done very well. This flag here has been unburned for many hours, even though it is extremely hard to defend. And 2906 holds more of the zone. Experienced ROK fighters know that a great war has many ups and downs for both sides. There are exciting times when you think you're going to win, and painful moments when it seems that all hope is lost. And so we can draw no conclusions from day one, except to say that there's a very long way to go. If you'd like to see a more in-depth coverage of this war, click on the live stream at the end of this video. I streamed for 2.5 hours earlier today of some of the most intense fighting. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like more updates. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.